This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and review. And what I'm looking at today is 2022's Hypochondriac, directed by Addison Hyman, starring Zach Villa. And this is a remarkable movie. It's probably, by my reckoning, one of the best interpretations of schizophrenia that I've ever seen in movies. It's really well done, intensely well acted, and interesting to watch. The movie revolves around Zach Villa's character, who's named Will, and we learn that Will has had a very traumatic upbringing. His mother began to display symptoms of schizophrenia relatively early in his life, and she became very paranoid that someone was after her, and she kidnapped Will at one point. Conversely, on the other side, his father is, I assume, a powerful person in his law firm. And I make that assumption because he is so apathetic to what's going on with his wife, to such a degree that he plants cameras in the house, seemingly doing so to gather ammunition so that they can be separated. So, as I said, Will has had a very traumatic upbringing. He grows up and becomes, I think it's a potter when you sculpt clay with your hands. He grows up to be a potter. And one day he starts to notice odd things, such as seeing this wolf, which is not a wolf per se, more so than a person in a wolf's costume, which relates to his childhood. Again and again, he starts to lose feelings in his arms, and he goes to the doctor to get this checked out. And it's oftentimes attributed to just stress or that type of thing. And the cause of what ails him is never really discovered till much later in the movie. Though based upon what has happened earlier, it seems fairly obvious that the schizophrenia that affected his mother is hereditary, which is to say, it's manifesting symptoms in him. And the movie is the story of him seeing all these illusions and warping of reality and trying to come to grips with it. The movie, when it refers to this wolf, is very reminiscent of Donnie Darko with Jake Gyllenhaal, except that it does it better, in that Donnie Darko, for me, felt very disconnected, and it never quite made sense, while Hypochondriac works extremely well, and the wolf, as a manifestation of trauma, works exceptionally well. It is a remarkably clever movie. And it's also worth mentioning that Zach Villa's Will is gay. And there are scenes of him showing affection to his lover. And for people who have issue with this, as I've said before, grow up. It's not pornographic by any stretch of the imagination, though it doesn't shy away from them showing affection at certain points, which, if it were not a gay couple, a lot of people would have no concern for whatsoever. But seeing that that is the case, some people might take issue. Just letting you know it's there, it's not a big deal. As I said, grow up. And Zach Villa, I, for some reason, think I've seen somewhere before. He's an interesting looking actor, and the trust he puts in the director is nothing short of astounding. There is nudity in the movie, full frontal male nudity, and what's interesting to me is that it's not by any stretch of the imagination erotic. There is nudity, but it is oftentimes shocking, and it just looks very human, almost mundane in fact. And that's really interesting, and I'm glad to get to the point where male nudity, full frontal nudity in movies is not something shocking or something to be whinged about endlessly. Hypochondriac is a remarkable movie. It's on Tubi. Check it out if you have not seen it. And I don't think you're going to find a better depiction of mental illness in movies today. And the reason it works so well is that it's clearly not necessarily realistic. I would hate to think that anyone goes through what this guy went through. But at the same time, it flirts with realism. Hypochondriac's depiction of mental illness is close enough to feel very realistic and grounded, yet far enough, it still feels like a movie. Hypochondriac is remarkable. I am honored to have seen it, so let me know what you think. This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Review. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know down below. And as usual, consider a like or a follow.